guys, today we're gonna go ahead and make that card. I love the way it turned out. We're using the new Embossing Paste, so this stuff is pretty neat stuff. It comes and it almost looks like frosting inside. So I'm going to show you how we did the background for that, and we're going to go ahead and get started on this card. What you're going to need is you're going to need to start off a piece of Pool Party, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and this one here we're going to make the background here, the stone, the brick background. So what you're going to need is you can use your scrap piece of paper. I have one of the silicone pads here, so I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to take our masks that you can buy through Stampin Up. There's 4 different masks. One is the bricks, one is clouds. This one here is a fancy swirly kind of design. Let me get these out of the way. And then the other one is like a diamond type shape here. So you get all 4 of these. So you can also take the window sheets and you can make your own masks with the window sheets. They work pretty well. The only thing with this paste, it dries pretty quickly. So when you're using it, you may want to have a bowl of water or something on hand to dip your tools into once you're done. I'm right close to my sink, so I just run and get them right in the sink. But don't let them set around because it does dry and then you won't be able to get them off. So we're going to take the brick one, and we're going to take a scrap piece of paper and just kind of put this on top of your Pool Party and line it up however you want. And then you're just going to take some of the paste here, and these, you can buy these. There's 3 different tools you can use for the paste. So I'm going to use the wider one, and I'm just going to take, you don't need a lot, it spreads out pretty good. So I don't know, probably a little pile like this. You can always add more if needed, but I think that that's probably going to be enough there. So then you want to just go ahead and put that top right back on there so it doesn't dry out. I also am going to mix in some dazzling diamonds in with this. You can mix color in, you can leave it just blank, whatever you want to do. I just sprinkled a little in there, and then I'll just mix them up on the silicone mat here. And you can see the sparkles in there. So it's kind of neat to have the glitter right in there with the bricks. I'm thinking already for Christmas, this will be cute to use with Santa. So then you can tape down the mask, or you can just hold it, and you just spread this all over the top of it. And it dries pretty quickly, like I said. So you want to work fast with it. And you could do the whole card, you can do part of it. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. I chose to do the whole portion of this one. And once you have it covered the way you would like to have it covered, then you're just going to pull that mask up, and you'll see the nice effect it does. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly wash my tools off, and I'll be right back. So we're just going to go ahead and move this to the side and let it dry. It doesn't take too long to dry, but we're going to work with that later. So the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of rich raspberry cardstock. And this is an A2 card base, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you just go ahead and crease that down. That's going to be your front of your card. We're going to set that aside. You're also going to need a piece of Flirty Flamingo. Now, I already cut this out of my Big Shot. You're using the only stamp set today we're using is the Colorful Seasons along with the Thinlits, and I keep them right in with my stamp set. This is just a piece of magnet that I got at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're the grate covers, and they're fairly cheap. You get 3 of them in a pack for $5, I believe, and I can get 3 to 4 chunks cut out of one strip to put into stamp sets. And then I just keep the dies with the stamps together so that you don't lose them and you always know where they are. So we're gonna go ahead, and I just took the Adirondack chair out of here, and I just cut that out of the Flirty Flamingo. So you just need one of those, and then you also will need the branch in here, which is this one here. Use this Thinlit, and you cut that out of Early Espresso. And then you also will need your flowers here. You're gonna need these 3 pieces, and then these 3 pieces. So I just took these 3 pieces and I cut them out of Tranquil Tide. I cut four pieces out. So I just took I took 3 of these and then 1 more flower. So I cut those out. You can do as many as you want. You can put a lot of flowers on the branches. I chose to just do 4 on there, but there's room. You could do a few more. And then you also will need a piece of Pear Pizzazz and Wild Wasabi. And the lighter one, which is the Pear Pizzazz, that is cut at 1 inch. And the Wild Wasabi is cut at 1.5. And we're going to go ahead and tear these in a minute. But you also will need a scrap piece of Whisper White to stamp out your flowers on. So I'm going to go ahead and do the grass first. And what you want to do is, this one's going to be in the front like so, and then you're going to have the darker one in the back. So I just took and I just started tearing just in like a wavy type line. Just like so. And there's no method to it, you just tear it. And then you do the same thing with the Wild Wasabi. You can tear inwards, upwards. You can tear it straight across if you want. So your green, your darker green, the Wild Wasabi, is going to be taller, because that's going to be the background, the grass in the background. So then you're going to glue these 2 on top of each other. So we're just going to go ahead and glue those on top. And you can use your snail adhesive. You can use your Tombow. I'm going to use the Tombow glue because that's what I have out right now that I'm working with. There we go. What I like about the Tombow is it's forgiving. You can move it around a little bit before it sticks. So you're just going to line up the bottoms and glue those down. So it should look like that. And then we're just going to set that aside. And then we're going to do our stamping on your white piece of cardstock. And I stamped out all the flowers. So I use the Lemon Lime Twist color for my flowers. So we're just going to stamp these out. I just have to see which flowers I have here. then you're going to take your flowers and you're going to use these 3, and you're just going to run them through your Big Shot machine or any cutting machine that you have right on top of your flowers and cut them out. So once you have your flowers all stamped and cut out, sometimes on these little pieces like this, the middles of the flowers, the paper stays stuck in there, those pieces. So you can use the die cutting or the die brush. This is wonderful. It gets those little into those little areas and gets those papers right out of there. You could use a paper piercer. Before I had the die cutting brush or the die brush, I just used my X-Acto knife or a pair of tweezers to get those pieces out. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your flowers, your lemon lime twist flowers, and you're going to glue them on top of the Tranquil Tide, and you can line them up if you want to. I think they look better when you kind of offset them so you can see part of the Tranquil Tide in there. So I'm just going to use the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. Like I said, I like this because it's forgiving and I can move my flower around to where I want it before the glue kind of dries. So I'll just use my tweezers to kind of pick them up. We'll just bring our pool party back in with the Emboss Paste. It's all dry now, and you can see the diamonds just shining in the light there. So that's kind of a cool effect that you can do. You can add colors into that too. There's all kinds of things you can do with the Emboss Paste. I really like how it just gives that extra texture to your projects. So we're going to glue this on the front of your rich razzleberry. And I'm just going to use some snail adhesive to glue that down. And then you're going to take your little green piece here, and I would recommend mono glue or fast fuse on this because you're going to glue it down to the textured surface. So you're going to want something that really sticks. So snail adhesive will come off. So you'll want some kind of heavy glue on there. So you're just going to line this up on the bottom. I always have to make sure I open up my card just to make sure, okay, that's the right way, because I've put them on upside down before. So you just line it up on the bottom. So it should look like that, and that's your kind of your grass behind the pretty brick wall there. And then we're going to take our chair, and I'm going to use the liquid mono glue on this. And then I'm going to put that right here, just like so. So it'll look like that. You could put it on this side if you wanted, whatever side you wanted. Then we're going to take your little branch and liquid mono glue again, or your fine tip glue pen. And then I kind of just put this in the corner, just over the chair, just kind of hovering over the chair. Just like so. I love this stamp set, and the Thinlits, the Colorful Seasons. There's so much in here that for fall and stuff. I'm excited. I can't wait to use the leaves, and the winter you got the snowflakes. So summer, spring, lots of things in here. This is a good all-around stamp set, and it's got some pretty nice little sentiments in there. Just Breathe, I love that one with the chair, and just so pretty. So once you get that glued down, then you're going to take your flowers, and I used pop-up dots on my flowers. And like I said, you could do more flowers than that. You could do 3 flowers, you could do less flowers. But I just did a pop-up dot, the regular sized one, pop-up dots. We do have new ones. Stampin' Up does, they just came out with new dimensionals. They're called mini dimensionals. And they're great. They're half the size of the big ones. And they're great for your little tiny projects that you want to pop up. So then you're just going to kind of put these flowers on your tree branch. So I'll put one up here, maybe one there. Just like so. So it should look like this. Very simple card, but it's so pretty. And then I just finished it off here with the congratulations. I just used black ink. There's also a thinking of you, which would be a nice one too to use. And I just went ahead and stamped right down there with our basic black ink. Just like so. And there's your card. Super simple, easy card. It looks so pretty and fancy. And for the inside, because the card base is a dark color, you could cut a piece of Whisper White at 5 1/4 by 4, or a piece of computer paper, just blank white computer printer paper would work too. So that's all there is to that card. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.